One of the screens that I have set up on my home system is I use an RSI screen, or a relative strength index screen. And I use this to identify stocks that may be oversold right now. That may represent an opportunity that I could take advantage of, or stocks that are overbought. And that might tell me, for my own personal liking, they may be a little bit too risky. In this video, I'm going to cover the top 5 overbought, the top 5 oversold. So quickly, what is an RSI? Well, an RSI is a momentum oscillator, and it measures the speed and the change of a stock's recent price change. So it comes up when you do the math with a result between 0 and 100. So if it's below 70, that means that the stock is considered to be oversold. If it is above 70, the stock is considered to be overbought. So how it helps is, first of all, it doesn't mean that you buy or sell. It's not a buy or sell recommendation. It's one of the tools that can point towards these conditions of whether the company is offering value or not right now. For example, if a company has dropped too far, and if the price has dropped too far, it may be due for a recovery. Or conversely, if a stock has gone up very steeply, it may be due for a corrective pullback. And the RSI is a starting point to sort of put something on the radar. And when I look through the 10 companies I'm going to cover in this video today, some of them I've never heard of before, but because they show up on my screen, it gives me a starting point to go and look and see if it's something that I might be interested in. I'm going to cover, of these 10 companies, I've set a $5 billion market cap as the floor, just so I'm weeding out a lot of the tiny companies that will be very volatile. The key metrics I'm going to cover, I'm going to look at a 6-month chart for each. I'm going to look at the price returns from a year to 1 month more recently, the current 14-day relative strength index, the RSI. I'm going to look at a price to earnings forward PE versus the mean. Generally speaking, another starting point is if you're trading below that mean, it might be undervalued. If it's trading above, it might be an indication that the stock is overvalued. I'm going to look at the current price versus the average target out there. It's not a deep dive into each of these companies. It is a screen to help you know where to stop. Like I say, I'm not recommending you buy or sell any of these companies. But let's get started first with the oversold companies. And I want to start right here in Canada. And the first stock that comes up on my radar this morning is First Quantum Minerals. The ticker is FM, based in Vancouver. It is a mining company. As you can see by this chart here, it's down around 60% since its highs back in August. If we look up the top right-hand corner, we can see here it's down about 51% over 1 year. That's pretty much all come in the last month or so. When I go into the detail chart, this is where I can zoom over to the right side here. I can see the RSI is currently 25.95. So below that red line, possibly oversold. When I look at the price to earnings ratio going forward, 10.8 currently. The mean is 20.5, so below that yellow line might indicate that it's offering some value. And finally, for First Quantum, the stock is trading at $14.63 today. Price target is 20.26, so that might indicate that there is some upside opportunity there. Second company I'm going to look at is Bristol Myers Squibb. Ticker is BMY. If we look at this chart here, we can see that it's down about 38% over 1 year. This chart covers 6 months. It's been 26.15% down there. And in the last month, we can see that 13.89% drop. Zooming in on the details, we can see a current RSI of 28. We can see a price to earnings ratio of 6.4 times. That is, again, below the mean of 8.3. And BMI is currently trading at a price of $48.63. The price target here, 64.13. Next company that shows up on my screen is Legend Biotech Corporation. LEGN is the ticker. This is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, and it is involved in the commercialization of novel cell theories for oncology. Operates in the US, China, and other international locations. Again, as you can see by this chart, it had not a bad start over the last 6 months, but currently it is down about 13.5% roughly in the last month. So we have definitely seen a pullback of recent. The RSI is 29.31, pretty close to that 30 mark. The price target is currently 87.97, and Legend Biotech is trading at $57. So definitely some upside there. Next company is Cisco Systems. Of course, this is a global leader in the communications industry. It's down around 15% since September, as you can see by this chart here. If we look back over the 1 year, it's flat for the year, but the last 1 month has seen a 10% roughly decline. Cisco is trading with an RSI currently of 29.10, so just below that oversold indicator. If we look at the price to earnings ratio going forward, 12.7 currently, pretty much right on the longer term mean of 12.9. And if we look at the price target, There's a potential increase here. Cisco's trading at 47.88 right now. The price target consensus is $54.82. Now, the last company we're going to look at on the oversold category is ZTO Express. This is a company that operates out of Shanghai and provides express delivery. If we look at this chart here, we can see the company is down around 23.37% over the last 6 months, with about a 6.7 drop in the last month alone. That's probably what's put it into this category here. The RSI is 30, so right at that oversold area. Now, if we look at the price to earnings ratio showing 13.3 times, remember if it's below that yellow line, it means that it might be offering some good value. Now, this is interesting. When I look at the current price, the company's trading for $22.06. It's showing here a consensus price target of $254.80. But this is an example now of where all of these pieces of data have to be analyzed, and this is a starting point. Because when I look at a lot of the other sites, and I look at, for example, Yahoo Finance, etc., Google Finance, I'm seeing a price target of in the low 30s on those sites. So this is an indicator. This is a one source, but you always want to go and make sure that you're doing your due diligence on any of these companies that fall onto your radar. I want to switch now to the overbought category. And in this case, what I've done is the most overbought Canadian company is quite far down the list. So I'm actually going to take the top 4 overbought US companies, and then I'm going to throw in one Canadian company because I know a lot of us like to keep track of the Canadian companies as well. But I'm going to start with the most overbought company. That is the Gap. Ticker is GPS, and everybody knows they are in the apparel retail industry. We can see that they've had a very strong run, even the year 32% up, but we can see the 1 month price up 59%. So something, there's been some news out there that's really the market has liked. Look at the RSI, currently at 84.16. So this is definitely well into that overbought territory. The price to earnings ratio, 15.8. It's saying here that the mean PE is 114.6, but we can see how that might be affected by really high PEs quite a while ago, back about a year ago or so. So again, that might necessitate some additional research. The current price target is $15.54, and the Gap is trading currently at $18.86. So the company might be trading in frothy territory today. Next company up, GoDaddy, GDDY. Of course, they design and develop cloud-based products. We can see again, they've had a very nice run, up about 31% over the last 3 months, about 24.6% in the last month alone. When we drill down into the details, we see an RSI of 83.9. Again, well into overbought territory. When we look at the price to earnings ratio, we see 16.1 times. That's marginally above the longer term mean of 15.6 times. When we look at the price target, we see GoDaddy actually trading slightly below the target price of 94.09, trading currently at 92.79. Next up on the list is Wingstop, the ticker WING. And this is a franchise that operates restaurants that specialize in wings, 1,500 roughly global locations. And we can see that it has, again, had a pretty rough year. But wow, has it ever popped in the last little while or so, up 42, almost 43% in the last 3 months. That has now put this into overbought territory. When we look at the RSI, 82.39, price to earnings slightly above the long-term mean, currently trading at 86.7 times forward earnings. The mean is 84.5, so no big gap there. When we look at the price target, it's $211.56, currently trading at $231.16. So again, that might be slightly overbought. Next company up on the list here is Coca-Cola Consolidated. And this is not the company Coca-Cola. This is the bottler for Coke products. It's the largest Coca-Cola bottler in the US. So we can see kind of a shaky up and down type year here. But in the last month, the stock has climbed 17.43%. And that has put it now into overbought territory. When we look at the detailed chart, we slide in a little closer. The RSI is currently 81.73, well above that 70 level. There is no price to earnings ratio posted for here. There probably will be some area on the internet where you can get that. And if we look at the current price, $731, there is no, at least on this website, there is no average target price to compare that against. Finally, on today's list, we're going to look at Gildan Activewear, our only Canadian company that falls into this overbought category. The ticker is GIL, and it is a manufacturer and a seller of apparel products around the world, headquarters right here in Montreal. The company has had a relatively flat year until recently, where the stock has surged 23% over the last month. We can see that on the right side of this chart. Drilling down into the details, the RSI is currently 79.15, up into overbought territory. Price to earnings has jumped considerably in the last little while along with that price, currently 12 on a forward basis. The longer term mean price to earnings is 10. So we can see that gap there. And the price target is $37.22. The company is currently trading at $48.99. So those are the 5 most oversold, the 5 most overbought stocks that I could find in the North American markets right now. I hope at a minimum this sparks some ideas for you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.